Hey guys, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It's coming up on 8 o'clock a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast, Wednesday. I'd like to address the Trump supporters, Trump voters' claims that they hired Trump because he's a non-politician. He's a regular guy and he's in there to clean out the swamp, to drain the swamp. He's not taking any of that status quo corruption. Let me bring up two cases. The firing of Lieutenant Colonel Vindman. Lieutenant Colonel Vindman swore, he was a witness in the Ukraine impeachment trial. He swore on an oath to tell the truth. He told the truth, and now Trump is summarily firing him for it, and not just firing him, but disgracing him. He fired not only Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, but his twin brother also. And didn't just fire him, but disgracefully escorted him out of the White House in front of the press by White House security, intentionally disgracing Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, from what I understand, from all accounts, is a Purple Heart recipient. A man of honor, a man of truth, a man who has served his country. And who do we have doing the firing? President Bone Spurs, the draft dodger, a man who's probably never lifted a shovel or hammered a nail one day in his life, never had a callus on those little doughy, pretty hands of his. And he fires Lieutenant Colonel Vindman. And let me just, as a side note, around here in town, I was at Dunkin' Donuts and I was at another pizzeria. And let me tell you, the military people, the ex-military and current military people around here are not happy with Trump at all. There's past Trump voters that are changing their minds on this right now just because of this, the way Vindman was treated. So we have a man of honor. Man of honor. There's no question that Lieutenant Colonel Vindman told the truth. Said what he thought, what he saw, what he heard, his feelings on the stand. No, there's no question about that. I believe the attorneys for Trump were trying to call him a never Trumper or something like that. He was working in the Trump White House, so yeah, I think he was. If anything, I'd imagine he was a Trump supporter. I don't know why he'd be working in the Trump administration if he wasn't. But he was called to testify, and being a man of honor, he answered the questions truthfully. And Trump fired him for that. A career soldier, man of honor, fired. Not just fired, disgracefully, intentionally disgraced in front of the country. Purple Heart recipient, a man who was injured for our country. Disgraced by a draft-dodging president. All right, not only that, now let's move on to Roger Stone. Okay, Roger Stone, I'm not sure of all the charges. There was obstruction of justice, lying. The prosecutors got together and the defense, and they came up with the guidelines, the typical sentencing guidelines of 7 to 9 years for this, which is average, I guess. Anyway, this got out, and this got to Trump. And let me tell you, Roger Stone is a good buddy of many decades of Trump's. Okay, and I think he lied just to try to keep the corruption to sustaining Trump and the whole Ukraine scandal, or the Mueller investigation, the Russia investigation. So he was intentionally caught lying on that, and corrupt and obstructing justice. So it comes to sentencing, like I said, and Trump hears about this, and he gets on his little tweet with his little hands, and he tweets out, and he gets all angry, and this is unfair. He's being sentenced too much, and something happens that is completely unheard of. The Justice Department gets involved, and fires out a memo or a letter saying that recommending that they throw out that sentence, and recommending that they institute a much lesser sentence. It was wrong. This is unheard of too. That the Department of Justice would jump in and interfere with prosecutors who have decades of experience. The Justice Department would interfere with the chain of command. And so within 24 hours, Trump continues to tweet. Within 24 hours, the prosecutors pull back their recommendation of sentencing and overturn it and decide to give him, I'm not sure what the new sentence is, but no doubt Trump got angry that his buddy, who was lying for him, got on Twitter and got the prosecutors to reduce the sentence, the typical sentencing guidelines that was well within what he should be sentenced for. So on one hand, we have a man being fired, a Lieutenant Colonel Vindman being fired for telling the truth, being a man of honor, and disgraced. On the other hand, we have one of Trump's friends who he gets out of trouble and basically gives him a get out of jail free card for lying on the stand. We have one man telling the truth, a man of honor, and we have another one, a liar, that's obstructing justice. Trump punishes the one telling truth, the man of honor, serves his country for his entire life, fires him, gives his buddy, the liar and obstructing justice, the little corrupt son of a bitch, gives him a get out of jail free card. This is all true, factual. I might have got a year or two, something messed up, but that's the story. Those are two real stories in the last week. So let me go back to you Trump supporters that are claiming that Trump isn't a career politician. He's in there cleaning the swamp, draining the swamp. No. Trump is far above one of the most corrupt politicians. He's out-politicianed any politician that's ever served in the White House. Between his ego and his vindictive nature and his past penchant for bribing, blackmailing to get to the top in the New York real estate industry. This is what we have now. Oh, not to mention his career in reality TV. This is the man that the Trump supporters claim is draining the swamp. This is draining the swamp. This is a man who is trying to get rid of corruption. Let me reiterate this one more time. He fires not only Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, a Purple Heart recipient, career military man, and his twin brother, who is, I believe, is the JAG officer, attorney for the Army. Two men of honor. Didn't even have, he fired them both. And not only fired them, but disgracefully fired them. And on the other, for telling the truth. And on the other hand, interfered, unheard of, interfering with prosecutors' sentencing recommendations and pulls his buddy out of jail time for obstructing justice and lying on the stand. There's your freaking drainer of the swamp. I was so disgusted when I heard all this morning. I can't even get the words out. There's a couple other things, just a couple more things that don't quite relate to this that I wanted to touch on briefly. As I was watching Fox News at the gym, I couldn't hear the storyline because it was off and I was on the treadmill, but I see the taglines underneath, and I repeatedly see them calling Bernie Sanders a socialist. No, he's a democratic socialist. And there was several instances where you could see Fox News and then there was another one about Bloomberg buying the election. And I'm watching this with the sound off, and I realized that we have a national TV news corporation working for Donald Trump, basically trying to eliminate his competition by whatever means necessary, not like exaggerated claims, not telling the truth, like the stuff about socialism. And that works, especially because they're dealing with baby boomers who already have a fear of Bernie being a communist, because these baby boomers don't even know the difference between a socialist, a democratic socialist, and a communist. So Fox News is playing right into this. and portraying Bernie Sanders as a freaking commie with a commie flag tacked up in his garage. And then claiming Bloomberg's buying the election. They're actually saying because Bloomberg is a billionaire from New York. Where did I hear that before? It's unbelievable. So Fox News is basically part of Trump's campaign to get reelected. It is. It's not even, I wouldn't even call that news anymore. One other thing I heard, Trump's team was talking about cutting back disability. Disability is one of the things I believe in because I was hurt on the job where I ruptured a disc in my back working. I was the best driver in my company, Hoboken Wood Floors, earning money for my company. I got hurt, blew out my back, ruptured my disc. And it was almost impossible just to, I was basically shit out of luck. You know, I did all the right things. I worked hard for my company, brought back the checks, brought back an empty truck with all the merchandise sold and a big check every day. Best driver, best truck. I had the best route. And when I got hurt, I basically got thrown to the wolves. So disability is one of my points. They talk about waste and trying to get over on the system. Meanwhile, these people aren't even doctors. And there's one thing they brought up. This is somebody in the Trump administration talking about changing a disability. And he actually says, people can now collect disability just because they don't speak English. And I was thinking, this can't be right. This cannot be right. So I look it up. It's not right. It's an exaggeration. It's a twisting of the truth. First of all, you need a debilitating serious injury or illness where you cannot work. First of all, it's not just about not speaking English. That's a lie. That's not true. All right. Once you are considered disabled, they then look to say that you do manual labor. They then look to see if you can do a clerical job or any kind of job. Now, if you have a speech impediment, if you can't speak English, if your height, your weight, something about you restricts that, it plays into the disability. It's taken into consideration, as are a lot of other factors. Like I said, your weight, your education. It's not just, so when this Trump administration guy comes out and says that people just because they don't speak English, so they get money. This feeds right into the Trump supporters and their claims that these illegal immigrants are coming in and we're giving them checks. The liberals just want to hand them money as soon as they cross the border. No, I don't want to hand anybody money. But if you are hurt, like I said, I lost my father to brain cancer, and I remember at 9 years old, my family struggling. I remember them whispering, thinking I couldn't hear, talking about how my father's sick leave was going to run out. And these are real things my family experienced, deserving, honest people that were hurt on the job. Brain cancer, ruptured discs on my account. And we're given a hard time where I had to fight and get an attorney before I could even just collect a month or two disability. And by then I had already gone back to work. It's nonsense. It's for people it's a safety net legitimately for people that are hurt. But these claims that you're going to collect money just because you can't speak English is bull. And I can't believe they have the actual White House administration going on TV on in the media claiming this, just feeding into Trump's lies. So then it creates more Trump voters come November, because God forbid they think that the liberals just want to hand out money to somebody because they speak Spanish. No, it's not true. It's just a consideration along with education, health, physical condition. That's all it is a consideration into what kind of work you can or cannot do. That's all. Doesn't mean you get a check because you can't speak English. Yeah, it's a little irritated today. All right, you guys have a great Wednesday. Take care.